This week is step number 2. And step number 2 says that we come to believe that a power greater than ourselves can return us to sanity. This week I was disappointed that I didn't stick to my plan, but I was thinking this morning about did I really believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity? I've always believed in God, and I've always believed in miracles, and always really believed that God was the way to all kinds of healing in our life. And even as a psychology major right now, I think it's helpful to know what caused this or why we feel this way. But really, when it comes to cures, there are things that psychology can do for a person, but in the end, I still feel like it is God that heals us. I was thinking this morning about the fact that I decided to go to college at the age of 47. And before I went to college, I mean, as a child, I was a wretched student. I couldn't spell. I have lots of learning difficulties. I had really awful experiences with teachers and kids when I was in school. And so school was just one of those things I couldn't stand the thought of. But since I've been at school and decided to come back, I have used Heavenly Father as my main resource. Every time I don't know what to do, every time I'm lost or I feel completely overwhelmed and I don't know where to go, or even if I don't understand something that I'm reading, that I get down on my knees immediately and say, I have nothing. I don't know where to go from here. And then I get up and I start. And in that starting, every time I have found where to go. I have been able to continue on. And so I've been thinking about that, about how I fall to my knees so quickly when I'm in trouble. And I don't think that I have done that with the food. I may get up in the morning and say, please help me. And then I think that's going to work all day long. Well, I ask him to help me with school, and that doesn't seem to last all day long. When I get into that moment of a pinch, I still have to get down and ask again. So that's what I'm going to think about. I hope that you have a great week. In a minute, we'll go on to the cooking segment, and I'll do my weigh-in. And the other thing I decided that I was going to do this week is I'm going to take a calendar and I'm going to actually mark the days that I'm abstinent. Okay, so today for our special dish that we're going to make, I'm going to make pork chops with a tangy mushroom sauce. So first of all, what's happened is I've taken my pork chops and I've used this mallet here. And they used to be about this thick, maybe about a ½ inch thick. And we just beat them until they were maybe a ½ inch or less thin. Then we salt and peppered them to taste on both sides. So I put in about 3 teaspoons of oil, and I'm browning the pork chops in there. And in the meantime, I'm going to add together my balsamic vinegar, my 1.5 cups of chicken broth, my rosemary, and I'm going to whisk in my let's see, it was 3 tablespoons of flour. And then now I'm going to take my my mushrooms, and I'm just going to plop them right in on top of those. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to pour it all on top of this mixture. Looks beautiful. And I'm going to get a lid. First, I'm going to just make sure those mushrooms get down in there so that they can simmer. And I'm going to get a nice large lid and cover this. It's going to show you what this looks like when it's done. It makes this nice gravy on top, and you serve it over rice, or you could serve it over a pasta also. But we're going to have it over brown rice today. So the mushrooms are nice and cooked, and it makes this lovely rosemary mushroom gravy. Okay, so I'm going to weigh in today. Last week my weight was 196, and I'm going to weigh in. This time I'm going to actually show you Each week I'm going to show you the weight on the scale.